Aleksandra Diamante with the ball on a string and
Welcome back to the All Out West podcast. And this week, Calder and I are joined by Western United's Women's Football Integration Manager and Calder United President Amanda Stella, alongside veteran footballer, Calder United captain and future Western United player, Alex Sinclair. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, you keen, Kelsey?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Welcome to the podcast, and how are you going?
Great, thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, good, thanks, Andrew.
So I'm going to go a bit crazy off the script right now, and this is a bit of a tradition. Where do you stand on the Palmy versus Palmer scenario?
I'm going to say Palmer.
Yeah, I'm a Palmer. I think Palmy is more my regional mates. So Palmer for me.
Oh, thank you very much. We had a lot of Palmies thus far this season in interviews, and it was
disappointing.
Very. Starting with you, Amanda, can you tell us a bit about how you came to love the world game, and what is your football story?
So it's a pretty basic football story. It's not over exciting. I have two daughters, and about 8 years ago, my eldest started playing, and then my other daughter started playing. And before I knew it, I was at the club all the time and training and team managing, and then got on the committee. And then it's grown from there. I love the environment. I love the fact that the girls have, such a good bond within their team. I think it's important to their for their self-esteem and them growing as people. That's what I love about the whole club feel. Calder is very family orientated, although we play at a pretty elite level. Our sense of family and friendships is quite strong throughout the club, and I've made a lot of friends and people I'll probably be close to for the rest of my life, regardless whether I stay in football or not. So didn't play. I grew up playing tennis and netball. Used to followed AFL my whole life and didn't really watch much football. But then once my daughter started, it's taken over the whole family unit. So which is good, because then the whole family are involved in, the one sort of thing.
Yeah, it's good to have that family connection with everything.
It is.
Alex, how about you? What's your football story?
So I actually started playing when I was 10 years old. The first sport I actually played was basketball, but I was hopeless at it. I was just running around everywhere. And Mum decided to take me out of basketball and put me into the sport my brother was playing, which I enjoyed so much because I look up to him, and that was soccer. So at the time then I had to play for a boys team because they didn't have girls juniors or leagues back then. I think there were very few even women's teams at the time. So I started playing, and at 14 was the cutoff. You weren't allowed to play for boys anymore as a female. But at the actual time of that, I got selected and scouted for the Centre of Excellence, which was like before the NTC back then. And then that moved into the NTC. So I was playing basically Victorian squads for about 5 years. Then got selected for the Women's Premier League team, Box Hill Inter. I'm not sure if you remember them, but yeah, they were a powerhouse team back in the old WPL era. Through them I actually had a couple of stints in the old W League, which was called Vic Vision, but not many people remember that. And then basically from that it was just time to move on from all that, and I went back to community just because life circumstances changed, and found my way back into the MPLW. Thought I'd try the elite level again, and that was 2017 with Calder United, and I haven't looked back since. So,
wow, that's such an amazing story. It's been amazing to see that progression through that time. Whether it be the facilities,
it's changed so much. Like the girls have so much more opportunity these days, and that's why I'm always encouraging them to just take their chances, because when the girls, there's very few from my era still. I think there's still a couple playing in the the MPLW, but things have evolved since that. From Vic Vision was just a state competition to now it's a W League, and it's growing. good to see. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's a great football story. And what is it that brought you to both of you to Western United?
So for me, it would be a couple of years ago now that when Western United were just starting off, we had some discussions about how Calder could fit in with their future plans. And then their first season started, and that sort of took over, and conversations were left for some time. But it would be almost a year ago to the day that we became much closer in having conversations as to where we could take this. And their aspirations to have a W League team was for Western United from the start. It was just working out the best path to get there, and for them it looked like Calder United would be a good partnership, well established NPL club, a lot of recognition, very successful, some good people, good players. So for us it was, let's see how we can work together. Let's try and get to that end goal for both them, and for me, I looked at it as an opportunity for our players and for all female athletes in Victoria, especially, to get an opportunity to play, W League in this state without having to, move into state, or that's how it started. And then since then, obviously, I've started working for them earlier this year, and they're an amazing club. You guys would know they're a family orientated, and the way that they regard, Calder and the players and the people, it's amazing. It's a really good feel, and that's why when we've done some things like gone to Tassie or been down to Geelong and played games before the men, it's created a really good atmosphere, and that's what's going to come in the W League, which is really exciting.
Alex, how about you? What brought you to Calder and also now Western United as well?
Yeah, so I was actually playing at the community club there, and then Mark Tocaso, which is the coach of Calder, Western United, he just kept, hounding me to come back up into the league and come on, you've still got it. And I was just like, nah, my time's done. I'm getting old and things like that. And twisted my arm, and I came across halfway through the 2017 season and had my full season in 2018. And from that, obviously, as Amanda said, this partnership's just evolved. They've obviously, loved what she's doing with the club and want to take their club to that next level of women's football, and the collaboration has just been amazing. So, I'm more than happy for all the girls and everyone involved. The club culture is fantastic. The inclusion is amazing. They always include us in so much more than we ever expected. So, whether that's, curtain raiser games or just trips away with the men, I'm really enjoying being a part of it all.
That's really good to hear. That's the vibe you kind of get with Western United, is the inclusiveness they try to bring to everyone. Amanda, just going back to you. So I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong, but I understand your role with the club is head of female football, and you're also the president of Calder United.
Yep.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure I was correct. Didn't want to actually mistitle anything. Are you able to just go into a bit more depth about these roles, what these roles require on a day-to-day level?
President of Calder is, something that's very important to me. The club is very important. Every player is very important to me. As far as, what's in the role, it's like what's not in the role. It's everything to do with running a club. I'm pretty involved. I've team managed every year that I'm there. I've done the senior team the last few years. On the barbecue, cleaning up, everything that in marshalling, it's not glamorous. It's at the end of the day, we're a family club, and we all pull together and we do some great fundraising, and we have some amazing players, but we have some amazing people at our club, and that's why you do it. It's a voluntary position. I have a really good supportive committee. Mark's been the head coach since we started 7 years ago, so he is a great support to everything we do. I think for me, I look at myself as a parent and a leader at the club. The title is not all that relevant, if we're honest. But it's become a part of our life, part of my life. It takes up a lot of time. There's a lot of the administration stuff, which probably isn't my favourite part. So now we're starting to expressions of interest for trials, and we'll have to do training schedules and coaching interviews and all that sort of stuff, which is very important, which is why obviously I do it, because that's what makes the basis of a successful club. So yeah, if I had my way, I'd just be out on the pitch team managing and having fun with the girls and doing some fundraising, but it takes a little bit more than that, which I'm happy to do. And then with Western United, I started as a part-time basis the start of this year, just working in their female football space, to start growing that in the anticipation that we would get a license soon, which we now will have for next season. So it's about building everything around that, the admin, the marketing, the memberships, all of those sorts of things that are going to need to be in place when we when we announce our first player and get ready for round 1 2022.
Yeah, just leading on from that, you've brought up a few challenges, but more importantly, what are the successes you've had in these roles? Like any landmark moments for you?
There's a lot of, depends what each individual marks as success. For me, success is going to training and seeing our under 13s having an amazing time, running around, laughing, playing some games, seeing our senior girls getting involved with some of the younger age groups at training. For me, that shows the success of a club that we've been trying to build towards for a long time. It goes a bit beyond trophies and ribbons and medals, and although it's all that accolade stuff is highly important and why we do a lot of things, the success I see is a little bit more basic. Those sort of things make me happy as winning games. For me, if the girls all come off the pitch smiling, and whether they've won or lost, it's it's not irrelevant, but it's not as important as their well-being and how much they're enjoying the game. Obviously at senior level it's a little bit different, but still I love seeing just them at training having a great time. Our senior team is very close. They spend a lot of time away from the club together, to see their photos when they're out for dinner and stuff. That's success for me. That's all the hard work you put into a club, that's what you want at the end of the day. That's
really grounded, and I completely agree with that kind of family atmosphere. Thank you for that perspective.
And I think sometimes people think that it's sort of one or the other. You can have that really competitive elite environment, or that fun family. I am a big believer and always have been that you can have both. You can succeed in both. You can succeed off the pitch and on the pitch, and that's what I think clubs need to work towards for the overall success of what we're all doing.
Yeah, I think that's a really positive message that you've got there as well. That's right, you can have both. It doesn't have to just be one or the other.
Yep.
Alex, what inspires you on and off the pitch?
Off the pitch, it's that big part of my life, family, friends. I just always want to do them proud with anything I do, particularly because I've dedicated so much of my life to this sport. I've just always wanted to take it to that next level and make them proud. Particularly my mum, she's been through a lot, and she's been my strength through it all. So my family, my friends, but on the pitch, it's my team, it's the club. It's going out there and doing what you have to do to get the job done for them. And just not wanting to be the best on the team, but be the best for them all the time. I think that's what goes through my head every session, every game, even off the pitch with them as well. But just, they're an incredible bunch of girls to play with, and I'm so lucky to have been blessed with a great team like them.
That's completely understand. Do your mum still watch all your games that she can, or?
Yeah, she actually she's actually getting a bit more social media friendly, as you call it. So she's I actually rang her one of the games this year, and I rang her on the way home, and I'm like, oh, we won, Ma, and I scored a crazy a goal. It was insane. She's like, I saw, and I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I watched your game on the thing where you watch it live on. You mean like YouTube? And she's like, yeah. I said, she watched the whole game, and she goes, yeah. I said, how did you manage to even figure out how to do that? And she's like, I have my ways, and I'm just like, oh, I love you, Mum, you know. So just things like that just make me, just want to even do her more proud, and just my loved ones. It's just, yeah, those little moments just make everything great.
That's
make
great.
it all.
Alex won't say it, but I'll say it. So at the club, she's like the pinnacle for the juniors. So when we have senior games, there is always a group of girls, several groups of girls from across all the teams that, you know, they are there. They're there because they love Calder and they love the whole team, but many of them have a very, very special spot for Alex. And she actually did assistant coach our under-15s this year. So she's an amazing coach as well, not just a player in person, and this is when we spoke before about success. This is what success is about. It's about giving opportunity and bringing out the best in people that then equates to success. So, you know, when Alex does stop playing, which won't be anytime soon, you know, she has all the ability and will have all the support to continue in the game with coaching or whatever it is she wants to do. And that's what you want. You want your players and your juniors looking up to people like that, because that's what will make our game stronger. That is what will, you know, see it, you know, become what we all want it to be.
So great segue there. How do you think having a role in both clubs helps to strengthen the link between clubs in the case of being a manager in management, or being a player that could become a coach?
So yeah, so I think there's obviously the synergies of having someone that is looking to bring the two together, but for the good of the bigger picture. So I think that's definitely worked in this situation. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that it's been a lot of hard work and a lot of time, but I think the two Calder and Western United coming together has sort of fast tracked where we've got to now, and I think that is a win for everybody. That's not just a win for Western United or Calder or for me or for Alex. It's a win for female football in Victoria. So, and that was always the vision, and we'll keep going with that vision for as long as we can, and that's the legacy that we want out there. That, you know, a bit of time, a bit of effort, a bit of unity, a bit of support to other people, and you can get to where we are today.
Alex, is there anything you want to add to that, or you think well round?
I think that to touch on what Amanda said, it's just creating that unity and the synergy and bringing it all together, because once it gets going, it just builds and opportunities come. And I just think what's going on at the moment is really great.
Yeah. So, and just touching on that, so obviously the link up between West United and Calder was to provide a proper pathway for girls to achieve their dreams of playing football and having an opportunity at the elite level. How do you see this partnership evolving, and what would you like to see from the partnership moving forward?
I think the goal is to create that united family where a girl that's 8 years old can come and play mini roos at Calder and continue on the path into junior girl NPL. Then they can play senior NPL level, and, you know, if they're good enough, they get that opportunity to play W League, or within the same family, within the same people, a lot of the time the same coaches. I think that's we've never had anything like that. There isn't anything like that around. And as Alex said early on when she started, how difficult it was. You know, you play in boys teams and you play there for a certain amount of time until there's a good enough girls team with enough players. The vision is to create that female football powerhouse environment, so the girls have every opportunity to succeed and get to where they want to go. So I think that's that's always the plan, and that we'll never shy away from that. That's what we want to do. We want to create, as many opportunities as possible, and for not just the girls at Calder, for girls of the West, and really grow female football in this state, because unfortunately the last couple of years we've lost a lot of football. So the more we can do to get girls playing, keep girls playing, and keep their dreams alive, I think the better the game will be for everybody.
I think it's what the game needs, to be honest. Like, it needs to be equal for everyone. It needs to be accessible to everyone. Everyone's a fan. We should all have the same opportunity to access and play the game, or be around the game we love. So just moving on, so I understand the club commenced a 14-week training program for the girls under the head coach at the start of August. Just wanted to know how that was going.
We put together a development squad, which unfortunately we only got one session in before lockdown came and knocked on our door, which was really frustrating. It took a lot of time to get it all organised and ready to go, and venue and players and kits and coaches, and but at least we got the one in, so everyone got a bit of a taste, and it's kept everyone hungry and kept working during this time. It was made up of predominantly maybe 80% of 19s and senior Calder players, and then there was a handful of girls from some other clubs that our head coach, who also, Mark Tokaso, that also looks after the development squad, that he'd identified, and their coaches at their club supported the opportunity. So it was amazing. We had a really good session, and I can't wait for us to be able to continue on with it, because I think that gives the girls that extra couple of sessions every week to become that player that they're all wanting to be. Whether from that group half of them end up playing W League or whatever, they're all going to become better players from that extra session. So I think it's a great initiative, and I can't wait to get back doing it.
Yeah, it's a shame you could only get the one session in before not a lockdown came knocking on the door.
I think it was so the first session was a Wednesday morning, and I think by Thursday night we were very frustrated. Yeah. Well, we got photos. We got some photos, and we've got some memories, and that's what we keep thinking about, and we can't wait to get back out there, because that's what the girls want to do. You ask Alex, all she wants to do is train.
On that note, Alex, how was that training session?
Yeah, I was just going to say, just even that one session, it just showed us what we were in for. Like, the training was great. You had coaches take on different groups and doing all a variety of things. These girls have never even been anywhere close to something like an environment like this. So to see their reaction when we first rocked up, getting the gear and looking what we were, it was just heartwarming. They were all enjoying themselves, and the people were great. The coaches were awesome. I think we're just looking forward to get back and just keep chasing that opportunity. A lot of these girls never would have dreamed of, and now they have. So
that's good. Just on that note, is there any part of your game you're really getting prepared for the oncoming 22-23 season?
You can't go past always practicing on your finishing. As a forward, the areas of my game, it's mostly finishing, particularly. For me, the accuracy, the power, awareness, all that comes with it. So pretty much just the fundamentals of a striker or a forward, taking on players if you're put out wide. So you're just basically just really training to get back to where I was. There's no fitness like match fitness, I think. So you can do everything, to get back, but with that match fitness, you've got to be put in the environment and start playing those games again, and then it all comes back naturally. So you just got to work on those areas of your game, and then when you're back into the environment of training and things like that, it all just comes kind of rushing back, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, just touching on that as well. So pandemic aside and everything like that, because obviously it could wreak havoc again. What's the plan for preparing and having the squad in the best possible shape to hit the ground running ahead of the 2023 W League season?
2022. Don't go too far away. 2022.
I said 2022, didn't I? 2022
originally, and then you changed it just to 23. We don't want to think about 23. We're focused on 22.
Yep. No, sorry. Apologies for that. If connection's really bad as well, so I apologise. Yes, for the 2022 season. Let's focus on that one.
Yes. It'll be here before we know it. We've got 12 months. So 12 months of planning, setting up a bigger, female football structure at Western United. At the moment, I have a lot of support, but it's pretty much just me. So that will obviously grow and change, with staff and administration and all of those things that, are going to need to be part of the W League setup. But it's good. It's good. 12 months goes fast, but I think if we can keep COVID at bay, if we can train, that will be the biggest hurdle. As Alex just said, games, matches, fitness, all that stuff comes from the girls doing what they love to do, and that's work hard. So the minute we can get back out there, we will, and the development squad will continue to grow. And we hope to get some interstate trips in, and so a lot of practice games, all that sort of stuff. Keeping in mind the girls all play at clubs as well, so it's also about managing their workload and making sure when we get to the end of the NPLW season, that the girls have all still got a lot left in their tank to keep going into a W League season that will probably be expanded and more games and a much longer season. So a lot of management there, a lot of organisation, but it's exciting. Would it have been great to be this season? Yes, it would have. If you'd asked me a few months ago, that was my number one. I really wanted it to be this season, but in hindsight, I'm actually a little bit relieved that we have the 12 months. I think the next few months are going to be very complicated, to say the least, in any sport at a national level, with restrictions and lockdowns and travelling. I was up for the challenge. I'd still be up for it now. If they turned around and said, here's your license for this season, I would still take it and, work really hard and we'd get there. But I'm looking forward to the next 12 months and getting all the foundations right, ready to come out there and take on whoever it is we have round one.
Nice. Now, Alex, a quick one. What are your expectations for the debut W League season?
Oh, I expect it to go ahead. That would be great. No, look, I think it's very hard to put expectations in a time that we are in at the moment. But I would say it's just for the girls, motivation's key. So just, finding that motivation within you to just come back where you left off and then some, take it to that next level, keep working hard towards it. In regards to the club, it's already evident that, they're all about their players, they care about their players, and the club culture's phenomenal. So I think the expectation is just going back into that family environment, being motivated, having fun, enjoying the moment, and just taking that opportunity to where you can.
What's it like being an athlete in the COVID era?
Oh, no, it's challenging because all you want to do is just go, kick a ball. And like I was saying on the Zoom call to the team the other day, there's only so much time you can go collect your own balls before you've actually done your workout. So, it's challenging, but I think the most important thing is just remembering why you do it and keeping your eye on that prize and your goal, whatever it may be, and just, reaching out. We're all in this together, so reaching out, staying connected as much as you can, whether it be a session together or, a Zoom call, as simple as that. Just staying connected, keeping your eye on your prize and just working hard, because when we get back out there, I think we're going to enjoy it more than ever.
I think one of the only good things to come out of the pandemic and the last 2 years of football is resilience. I think that's one new attribute that all players, boys and girls, are going to, have got so much better at, because the stop, start, disappointment, high, low, start again. It's been a really rough couple of seasons. So I think, it's showed everybody that we can get through it. We can be resilient. We can keep working hard, and it will come. It will come.
Yeah, and also I think the mental fitness side of things too. That toughness they'll know how to overcome obstacles a little better and things like that. It's very challenging for many, and it's very important at the same time, and that's why it's very important to reach out and stay connected and like Amanda said, have that resilience, because you can get through this. I think you can get through many things in life. COVID really sucks.
It does. I think it'll all give us an appreciation when we're all allowed to actually do the basic things like go and have a kick of the ball freely and things like that.
Yeah, and just not taking those little things for granted, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. So with the NPLW season suspended, Aleks, are you gutted that you won't make it a hat-trick player of the year?
I didn't even expect at times to get the player of the year as it was. So I'm not gutted because I never expect it, and I think that's the beauty of it. To be surprised with such an award, a beautiful award like that by your peers in the league, I think it's just a wonderful thing. No, I'm not gutted. I'm more gutted that we couldn't chase the championship trophy, if anything. But that's okay; it'll come.
Now, on the game thing, what was it like being a captain in a grand final?
Oh, okay. Yeah, challenging. That was already a challenging day for me as it was. So I think the support from your club and your team and your family on a day like that just means the world. It was one of the hardest times of my life, but it was one of the proudest moments of my life to be able to hold the trophy up with that incredible team and for that incredible club was just, one of the most amazing things I've experienced in life and in the soccer journey as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a really proud moment.
Do you have a pre-game ritual?
Oh God, yeah. I have the usual. I can't go a game without texting the team. I have to send them and I think people actually wait for it and they're just like, "Where's Alex? What's wrong with her? Why hasn't she text us yet?" I can be annoying like that, but I know they deep down love it. But I always send a motivational pre-game text to them every game day before the game, just to pump them up a bit. And then you've got the likes of Age in a circle that will bring that vocal side of it out, which just pumps us up even more. So we work well together with that stuff. And my ritual pre-game, I tie my shoelace. I do this weird thing with my shoelaces. It's quite funny because Jack, the photographer for Calder, he actually mentioned the other day, he goes, "Alex, do you remember when I first started doing any of the footage for you and I was videoing you tying your shoelaces and you looked up at me and you said, 'Oh, Jack, you're going to be here for a while.' And I'm just like, I do remember that moment. So I do this thing where I tie my shoelaces, but I've got to tuck them in and under the laces. So it's a nice bed for the ball to, sit on. It takes some time, but I'm still listening to everything that's going on. But in that moment, I'm actually like, it's my zone out moment. It's like tying my shoelaces, visualizing the game, things like that, but still hearing what's going on. So yeah, I have this ritual of messaging the girls every game, pre-game, and doing this weird thing with my shoelaces.
Well, it makes sense though. There's an extension of your playing, so it makes complete sense.
Yeah, I love the practicality of it. Like I'm a very practical person, so I completely understand it.
You just don't want that not to be in the wrong spot, so when the ball connects it. So I don't know, it's my thing I do.
And we can all say Alex can take her time and do whatever she likes, because if you guys haven't actually seen her play, it wouldn't matter I wouldn't care if she took 30 minutes to tie her shoelaces. When the siren goes, she's on.
Thanks, Amanda.
Just going back to the club for a minute. So obviously West United, we remember when we went back at the forums and that they were really big on having a W League license. That was one of their main pitches. How did the club embrace the news of getting the license?
So it was actually it's a little bit ironic, but just typical of the football world. So we didn't really we did our formal application mid-year, and we knew that it was probably going to be tough to come in we'd had discussions and stuff much earlier in the year, but the formal application went in July, and we sort of knew, as much as we hoped it would be for this coming season, we probably knew it wasn't going to happen. But let's still go in with all the intentions right and see where we get. And it'd been a bit of to and froing and emails back and forth, but no real confirmation. And then we actually found out the Thursday night, or I found out the Thursday night before the Friday announcement of the expansion, was about 8:00, and I'd actually just finished a Zoom with the senior players, and me and Mark Torcaso stayed on the Zoom talking about some other things, and we both got a message from Chris, the CEO, and said, can you guys jump on a call? And I thought, this is a bit weird, 8:00 at night. Anyway, so we got on a call, and he said, this is the media release that's going to come out tomorrow, and it confirms, we have a license, didn't really say for which season. So it was sort of all a little bit, a little bit rushed, but that tends to be how football works. It's never goes quite to plan. So I was up at 8:00 with calls with the media team, working out the statements and how we were going to tell everyone. We got all the 19s and senior players of Calder on a call by 9:30. Told all of the, actually before that, no, that was 9:45. 9:30 there was a full Western United staff meeting where everyone was on and got told about the news. So it was, although it was a little bit rushed, it was still amazing. By 11:00 I'd seen everyone's face and everyone was really pumped, and the club themselves are so deserving of this. People will say, you've only been gone for a couple of seasons, and but their intention and how serious they take the female game is something that I hope drive so many other clubs to feel the same. They really do everything. Like to think, even before we had the license, the Calder girls were treated. If there was, when we went to Tassie, it was the same sort of stuff that the men got. There's been never any, second rate, because it's the girls or the women. I can't wait. I can't actually wait till we have our first W League team, and it will be amazing for the West and amazing for Victoria. And I think they've done a great job to get there at such a rapid pace. They're very ambitious, as you would know, but they've got some wonderful people there that really push things for the right reasons, and that's what attracted me to work with them, and I'm so glad that we did.
Nice. Speaking of Tassie, any highlights from the trip?
Heaps. You go, Elle. You go.
Oh, I still can't get the memory of the street field of green and black with all these shirts and players walking down. It was just that memory has stuck with me. No one would ever expected it to be anything like it was. So yeah, to walk the street with the men's team, and you have all your girls beside you, and then you've got your staff and your committee, and it's just green and black everywhere you look, and then you've got this massive photo in the park to top it off. It's one memory I definitely took from that, and just the game itself, having the opportunity to play another state for a collaboration, I guess it was, bringing everyone from the West, and the partnership with Tasmania as well. It was just a really good trip time. It was really amazing.
Yeah, it was, and I think, and credit to Football Tasmania as well, because they were very supportive of the girls' games before the A-League games, and the government, the whole everyone involved in what needed to be in that week really did a good job. It was an amazing week of football for not just Tassie, but I think for everyone to see what actually can be done if you go a little bit outside the square. And I think we probably made a lot of fans in Tassie, because we did some great things.
And again, I'll restate that I'm gutted I could not go on that trip.
There's always this season coming.
It was live
There
stream.
is.
No.
We definitely watched it all. I couldn't go because we bought a new house and we were literally just about to move in, and I'd actually damaged my knee as well. So I was trying to juggle moving and on one leg.
bet it was probably best you did stay.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at how some of the crew were, probably for the best for everyone. Amanda, the 2018 Football Victoria Leadership Program has been noted as a defining moment for you. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, it was one of those defining moments where I was did some workshops with a lot of like-minded people, a lot of females in committees across clubs all throughout Victoria, and it's listening to some of their stories and the feedback they had from their clubs and just the female game in general, all those discussions. It was the moment where I went, I really do think I could probably get more involved and do some good. There was a lot of things about leadership development and empowerment and increasing your network, and it was a really successful program. I actually don't think they've run it since. Helen Tyrikos, who is a female ambassador for football, she's an amazing woman. She was working at Football Victoria at the time, and she facilitated it along with Carol Fox, who's been on a lot of female boards and really, really good presenter. So it sort of gave me that little bit of inspiration to, put some more time in, and it's ended up to pretty much being all my time. But I wouldn't change it because, you can, it's one of those things where I'm starting to see all the time now actually getting somewhere. There's some great moments happening for the girls, and, I think that's what it's all about.
Nice. It's we read in the press release that you'd cited as a big moment, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I think because I realised the struggles. I think it was at that point I thought, geez, this game's going to take a lot of good work to really improve. And I think I knew at the time I could probably, do some more, and I'm glad I did. And then, one thing's led to another, and here we are today. But there's a lot of good people out there that put in a lot of time, and you just got to sometimes wait a little bit for the reward, but you get there.
Thank you for that perspective. Now this has been kind of in a similar vein. It's like, in your time in football, what are the biggest changes you've noticed, in particular to the women's game?
Definitely participation, although it's a little bit hard to tell because of COVID and the pandemic. We haven't had the games, the seasons like we would, but I am, even our expressions of interest that we've done for next season, we in the 7 years at Calder, we haven't had as big a response, and I think that is because more girls want to play football. I think the World Cup is going to help towards that. My fear is that we're not going to be ready for the influx of the World Cup and what that will bring. Facilities is a big problem for everybody. It's a problem for our club, but it's a problem for many clubs, boys and girls. And that's something that's going to take some time, but it's something that needs to get better, because if we want, more girls playing, which is what's happening, they need clubs that have facilities adequate enough for that to happen. So I can see it happening. I can see a lot of facility upgrades, a lot of female funding for facilities, a lot of improvements being done through councils. So it is happening. Still got a long way to go, but I think the home of the Matildas, that money going into that facility, that's great for the girls. And I think we have a long way to go, but I can see from when I say, if we go back to that 2018 year, we've come a long way since then. Long way to go, but I'm feeling, and that's what gives you the power to keep going, I suppose, to know that there's more to do and you can't sit back and relax yet. And not quite sure if that day is ever going to come, but we'll keep going for now.
Aleks, have you got anything to say? I dare say you've had a bit of a bigger gamut of experience in this one.
Yeah, I think it's just the opportunity. So it's so much more now. Like it's pathways like this just lead to so much success, and building those pathways like Amanda and the West United. It's another opportunity for not only girls in the state, but the West as well. Like, we don't really have many of these things. I'm born and bred in the West, if you didn't know that, but we didn't really have much things. We had to travel all the way to, your outer suburbs or the inner suburbs of the city of Melbourne. So it's to have something here in your own backyard, it's pretty awesome. And the partnership, obviously the name that Calder has in the league, it brings girls to want to succeed just at that club level. And now with this opportunity with Western United, I think it's just going to go above and beyond, to be honest. Yeah.
Really hope so. Like, it'd be good just for it to just be as normal as any other, like the distinction between men's. It would just be good just for the football to be normal across the board, if that makes sense.
That would be simple. It would be easy.
It would be nice and simple, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
This is just sorry, go.
No, I was just thinking, I think that's what we're probably feeling a bit at the moment is the separation. The regional can do this and the metro can do that. So I think if it was just let's just do it all together, it would be much easier for everyone, but it is what it is.
So, for example, like pre-game, example for that, like what gets you in the right mood and temperament for a game?
I don't actually have like a specific song, but I like to put on like the house and dance beats, and whatever comes up, it's as long as it's got a catchy beat that can pump me up. I usually listen to that stuff sometimes in the car or in the workout or training session. If I'm feeling a bit like mellow or chilled out, I like to put the acoustic alternative stuff on, so a bit more of a chilled vibe. Anything between that, yeah.
Amanda, do you have one you like to listen to before going through tedious amounts of administrative paperwork?
I actually be honest and say I'm pretty much, I know this is just so not of the era, but I don't mind the radio. I know that sounds absurd, but I'm a bit of a radio junkie, and in the car I switch from station to station, and I find all the music I'd like to listen to. I might have to press a few times, but I don't know. It's to be honest with you, music is a little bit like TV. I don't have a lot of time for it. I wish I did. But maybe I should be using this lockdown time to get myself Spotified and organised and have a bit of a bit more of a music culture, because to be honest, I don't really have it.
I will embarrass her here. When a good 90s track comes on, because you've got to love the 90s, in a change room, she's bopping all.
90s is good. 90s is good, Al. 90s is good.
Can't go past the 90s dance hit.
No, it was a great era. Now, is there anything fans can expect in the lead up to the 22-23 season?
Look, I think it's going because we have that bit of time to build it up. I think it's going to be amazing. I think we can really give the girls of the West something to be looking forward to, not just as players, but as, to get more families. A lot of girls out there in the West will start following the players, and that will bring the families to the Western United environment, more members, much, just that real full club vibe, if you get what I mean. We're going to be able to, it's not just about the boys that play at local clubs going to watch their A-League heroes. It'll be, the girls are going to have some people to follow, and I think that will bring so much to the club and to our game as a whole. But that's something that I think the club are extremely excited about, that now they can, sell the dream to the boys and the girls of the West. It's not just the boys, it's the girls as well. So I think that's, and look, the girls are amazing. Let me tell you, the senior players will give any moment they have to their fans. They I think that's one thing that I know for sure the fans of the West will love, that the interaction that our players will have with young girls, with girls at clubs and families, and I get a sense of it's going to be amazing. It's amazing now. We're just going to bring a whole new group of people into it, and I think that's what is going to set Western United apart from everybody else. I think we're going to really step into that family atmosphere at our games, that something for everybody, and that's what I can't wait for.
See, yeah, I'm quite keen.
I
just-
am too.
You both better be at that round one game. That's all I'm saying.
100%.
No, I'll be there. Well, Andrew has already has a daughter. He has a second one on the way. I like for him. It's been really important to be able to see like his daughter having idols she can look up to, and she can see that she'll have a pathway if she chose to go down the path of that.
And I mentioned this on the phone yesterday, but to have a connection with the sport in a different way, to identify with it more. So that's for me. I'm quite excited. Yeah,
it is.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, it is, and that's the excitement that it'll naturally bring. But I think with a bit of time that we've got to build it, it'll be special. I can't wait to that first game. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. Well, on a final note, what would you both like to pass on to the fans ahead of that? I know it's a long time waiting, but what would be the message you'd like to pass on to us all?
You go first, Elle.
I would just say for everyone involved, just thanks for your support, and we've even developed so many fans just with this announcement. So thank you for the support that you're giving us, and we obviously, if I get the opportunity to do it, I'll always want to make our fans proud. I think they're the people behind a lot of it. And I think just to trust the process and just be patient, because it'll all come together, and when it does, it's going to be something pretty beautiful. So
I don't think I can top that. I think that's great. I think that's what all the fans want to hear, and I just can't wait for the fan base of Western United to just continually grow. And we have a big area to cover, the whole of the West, and we want all the girls in green and black tops. We want, all the boys there at the games. We want the boys supporting the girls' game as well, just like the girls support the boys. I think, we're set. We're now, have the opportunity to really hone in on families as a whole.
That's great. Now, I'd just like to thank you for your time today. You've been very generous, and we cannot wait to watch you guys from the stands. We're so excited.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.